eventually.
Deliver the full Monty.
Well, this is Kal Kat and Marx Cards, and
Yep.
he's going to start out this Kal Kat American.
So
I did a lot of movie reviews and on the two of the channels, and I thought that it would be exciting to have Marx Cards talk about some horror movies.
Yes, because this is the month of October. We're coming right up on Halloween 2015.
Disneyland in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
So, let's
how
see.
scared should they be?
How scared should they? Should we start with the movie we both saw? Well, let's just use
whatever.
Should we start with that one? Yeah.
Which? Oh, American Gothic. So what this is?
American Gothic.
This is like when Flickster shut down. They just sort of canned like all of the reviews and everything that people had spent years building up, and he was able to actually backlog all of mine and back them up because I had done like hundreds and hundreds of these. Mostly for my own amusement. It's not like I was under any illusion that anybody was actually reading them. But, yeah, I tended to focus a lot on genre movies. That's kind of my area of interest. So, like, really obscure, you know, weird horror movies and
that's what we
science fiction. And so, because this is October, we're coming up...
I'm going to close the door, though.
Yeah, probably.
Hold on a sec. Okay. I can kind of get a game going on.
Yeah. How scary is that?
I'm not going to close the door, just kind of...
So this is just sort of a selection of some of the horror flicks.
Let's...
And just going right off the top of the list, so here's one that we've both seen. It's called American Gothic.
American Gothic.
From 1988.
Classic 80s horror movie.
Yeah, and I think its really most interesting distinction is that unlike a lot of movies from that era that were kind of trying to be like Friday the 13th, where it was like a slasher movie and you had like a bunch of dippy teens, what this one was shooting for was to be as sick and twisted as they could get away with. So it's a deliberately very like gruesome and disturbing movie, and it's got well, just to go down the list here, this flick wallows in murder, necrophilia, incest, and not one but two, count them, two dead babies for the price of one. So this is a movie that's like their whole selling point is like, all right, how sick can we be? And what makes it really amusing is that it's about this clan of like complete nutso, this family that's kind of like locked in the 1800s, and they have this cabin on an island, and then the dippy teenagers show up and get killed by them. But not because the family's like, you know, just a bunch of homicidal, you know, Jason clones, but because they have this really messed up sense of American values. Like, oh, you didn't clean your plate at dinner, kind of thing. And so it's, but the parents, the mom and pop, and you might, if you were around in our generation and you went to the video store, you probably saw the box art for this. It was a picture of that famous painting American Gothic with the crotchety old farmer and his wife, and it's them. And the farmer on the movie box is holding a pitchfork, and it's all gory. He's just kind of like,
The Gothic house.
Yes, but I
had relatives that actually lived near that Gothic house.
Oh, really? Well, that would have been something to see.
But they're long gone, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, the house probably is, too.
It was there in 2005.
Oh, really? That's probably a designated landmark.
It's a landmark, yeah.
And if I visited it, I would reenact not just the painting, but the cover of this movie. I would get a pitchfork and put fake blood on it and stand in front of it going,
in the farmer's outfit.
Yes.
I would wear the lady there.
You would be Yvonne DiCarlo, who is... that's one of the things that's funny about this movie is she was in the Munsters. And they persuaded her, I don't know, maybe she just thought this sounded like a hoot, to be in this movie as like this sick and twisted, you know, matriarch of this evil clan. But the really memorable part from Rod Steiger just chewing the scenery like it's made out of cherry-flavored taffy are the actors playing the children. The gag being that they're not only grown adults, they're like over the hill. They're like late middle age, but they still act like they're 6 years old. And so like you have the daughter is like, you know, this you know, full-grown woman, and she's like, oh, do you want to play on the swings with me? Hey, do you want to see my dolly? And she's got a mummified baby, and it's hers as the product of incest. And so she's like, my baby. And they're all like,
this movie makes that episode of Home when the X-Files. It's
honestly,
actually that sick.
I wouldn't be surprised if the guys who made that episode of the X-Files hadn't seen this movie.
Yeah, it's the same idea.
It did have some notoriety in its day. It was one of the. I think it played on cable like around Halloween time all the time, but. It's noteworthy. It's not a particularly gory movie. It's just really sick.
It's really gross.
Like, when people do get killed, it's just like vile and just like the guy playing the
no jump scares.
Son.
Just
no, yeah, not so much with the
no,
the 80s didn't really do
gore.
Well, there were jump scares.
Yeah, we had.
There was more of an attempt to actually get under your skin. Which is what this movie actually succeeds in doing. It's kind of a goofy movie. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, it's cheesy in its own way, but it manages to be as legitimately sick as it's trying to be. But the thing I was going to mention, that one of the two sons is the guy who played Porkins in Star Wars, if you remember the original. Okay, so I was saying the guy playing the older brother
was Corkins from Star Wars.
Porkins, William Hootkins, I think the actor's name is, and he is actually in another movie that I think warrants mentioning, which is... Kitty. Well, actually, he's in a couple of the ones that I wrote up. But there's this movie, Hardware.
We got to do that one. Maybe we'll do that one next.
Yeah, we'll do. I'm going to segue into that one, but we'll talk about Hardware in a second. But yeah, bottom line, American Gothic is kind of an obscure movie by today's standards, but it's kind of worth seeking out if you like it sick and twisted, because it actually is. It's twisted, and it's got like this really satisfying
video rentals that we saw. I don't think we saw it in the theater
sequence, but I don't even know if it played in the theater, to be honest. At least not.
It was on video. It was on video from that cheap ass store.
Yeah, it was. I actually discovered it. A buddy of mine was describing the plot, and he was like, "So there's these kids, but they're not kids. They're like grown-ups, and they put one of the victims on these swings next to a cliff, and they're like, oh, we're gonna swing you until you have fun, hee." And then they cut the swing, and he just goes, ugh, and he's all dead, and it's gory. And it's like, oh, I gotta see this. But it's in there somewhere. Listen.